of Ghana National Association of Cattle Farmers is condemning the shoot-to-kill approach adopted by security operatives in dealing with the herdsmen menace. According to the association, the state must devise a more sustainable approach, which includes bringing the cattle owners to book rather than killing the animals. The association also wants a solution which includes establishing fodder banks and grazing reserves across the country to accommodate the animals.
Concerning the problem of Asante Achim Agogo, the Ghana National Association of Cattle Farmers has no other option than to accept the court ruling. For that reason, the Ghana National Association of Cattle Farmers visited Agogo several times after the court ruling to ask the herdsmen there to respect the laws of the country and relocate. We also condemn the recent attack on some security personnel at Agogo. We endorse that investigations should be carried out properly to apprehend the offenders for them to face the law. The Ghana National Association of Cattle Farmers is not satisfied with the shoot and kill approach by the security on the cattle within and outside Agogo. We think it would have been better to rather apprehend the cattle owners, to get the cattle owners to face the law. I'm not sure that the court did indicated that the cattle should be shot. They cannot relocate until the owners relocate them. Neither have they committed any sin or any offense. And even if they commit offense, as we know according to the laws of this country and other countries of ECOWAS, it is the owner of the cattle that have to suffer for what the cattle has destroyed. Apprehend the cattle and then let the owners come on board. Refusal to do that can even make these cattle a state property. If a certain period of time is given and the owner did not show up, they can be a state property where they can still be important to the nation.
Now, the association, while condemning the spread of the shooting of cattle to other areas in the eastern region, is also blaming some local chiefs in these areas for the escalation of the standoff.
We are also very sad to find out that the killing of the cattle has even extended to other areas like Kumowu in the Ashanti region and some also communities in the eastern region, which we think it is not fair, because if the issue of Agogo is by the court, then none of these places involved. So killing animals or doing otherwise beside Agogo for now, we think is not right. This we think is unfair done to our innocent herdsmen. We thus request the Minister of Defense with a special request to the Minister of Defense to call on the security in charge of the operation in these various areas to consider the innocent people and the innocent cattle.
I'll be engaging leadership of the Cattle Farmers Association, but before that, leadership, or in a related development, leadership of the Fulani community in Ghana are also calling for a compensation package for some of their kinsmen who they say have lost over 1,500 cattle, estimated at a cost of about 6 million Ghana cedis since last December. Speaking on behalf of the group at a press conference here in Accra, Professor Sheikh Osman Bari called on President Akufo-Addo to halt with immediate effect what he described as ongoing hostilities against Fulanis. The Operation Cowleg team, tasked to flush out nomadic herdsmen from Agogo and other farming communities in Ghana, have strengthened their efforts to stop the destruction of swaths of farmlands by cattle who are led by nomadic herdsmen to graze.
We may wish to recall very recently that starting from the last quarter of the outgoing year, 2017, up to this date, over 15 innocent Fulanis have lost their lives through cold-blood murder, black magic, and practice of ritualism, while taking into account that over 7,000 of their huts and mud houses were set ablaze in different parts of this country. Meanwhile, the land attacks and the air strikes jointly carried out by the military and police from December 15, 2017.
Professor Sheikh Osman Bari has also been responding to some of their kinsmen who have attacked some indigents in Agogo and other farming communities. He says so far, no Fulani nomadic herdsman has been found guilty of attacking others. He says such people should be made to face the full rigors of the law if caught.
If you know them, why don't you report them to police? And if you know them and then you go and report the police, did the police take any measure to arrest these people? If they did this thing, have they sent them to court? If the court has established that these people are Fulanis, if there one instance you tell me the court has established that those people committed and those people arrested, they went to court and the court that established and confirmed that they are Fulanis, and then we see. Then the court has said, we have questions to answer to the court, but we have not been told of anything of this nature. Therefore, we assume that our people are innocent people, and they are peaceful people, and they are law-abiding people. If there's an intruder, somebody who comes from outside, to our knowledge, we have to flush that person out. But we need the assistance of the local indigents and the police also to come to our assistance so that we can flush anybody who is a bad element in our community.
I'm joined in the studio now by Imam Hanafi Sunday. He's a national chairman for the Ghana National Association of Cattle. Let's see if we can interrogate this matter a bit longer. Sir, thank you very much for your time here in the studio. But first, let me find out, what's the difference between the National Cattle Farmers Association of Ghana and the Fulani community, those who had the press conference today? There are two separate press conferences. Are they any way related?
Thank you very much, and then for having me. And then I say good afternoon to all our viewers. Thank you very much. I think when we say Fulani, then we are talking about a tribe. But when we say cattle farmers, then we are talking about those who engage in cattle farming. That has nothing to do with whether you are a Fulani or not a Fulani. Though I am the national chairman, a Fulani by tribe, but the difference is that the Ghana National Association of Cattle Farmers is an occupational organization which has to do with all cattle farmers. And then the Fulani organizations are also to speak on behalf of the tribe.
So today, for the Fulani community that met, they are demanding compensation for Fulani farmers. Are you one of the persons who require compensation, for example?
Well, definitely it is. I heard my father, Sheikh Osman Bari, speaking. And then I think it is in the right direction if it could be possible for those distractions to be compensated for. But I think our own press conference had its own a way of addressing it.
But what I want to find out, you have a different issue you are addressing, but you've just told me that you are a Fulani person. Exactly. You said you are also a cattle farmer as well, so you fall in that category. Now what they're asking for, they're demanding compensation for Fulani persons. You fall in that category. What is the Cattle Farmers Association's position on the compensation?
Well, what I would like to, one thing is that I heard him saying that, but I have to at least understand the reasons and then maybe what is actually driving that. Then I can make a conclusion on that.
He says about 1,500 of cattle have been killed so far by the Operation Cowleg team.
Operation Cowleg?
The team in Agogo.
Well, you see, we, the Ghana National Association of Cattle Farmers, consider the issue of Agogo very differently because of the court ruling. So for Agogo issue, though as we stated, we are not happy with cattle killing in Agogo. But we think that Agogo issue is somehow different because of the court ruling. And we're now talking about other surrounding areas.
Okay.
So though we are not happy and we don't support the cattle killing, even in Agogo.
Okay. So one of the things in your at the press conference, you mentioned innocent herdsmen. When you say innocent herdsmen, exactly what do you mean?
What I mean is that we have some of these herdsmen who are in their various communities living peacefully with the community, and at the same time they secured their lands or settlement through these chiefs. They were given land, they were staying there for so many years, you know, and then they have no any problem. So if, for instance, there is a problem somewhere, maybe one of the herdsmen has done something wrong, and for that has led the security men to go to the field. We are talking about the innocent man is the person who has not done anything, and therefore after everything, he becomes a victim.
Are you saying that all Fulani persons or all cattle rearers there are innocent?
I am not to say that. That is why I said the innocent herdsmen.
Okay. Because,
for instance, if there is an issue, maybe it began from somewhere, which there is a finger point to somebody. So even that person is innocent. He is not yet whether he is innocent or whether he's guilty. We don't know until he's sent to court, as my father is saying. But we have those who everybody testified that these people, they are very peaceful and they've been living in their community for a very long time. Built their houses in Nkoko and several areas. Their children are going to school. Some of them are graduates working, even serving Ghana. So we think these people, if any thing happen and then they start rushing and then killing these people, children, then killing animals, we think it's unfair, and we have to come and talk and defend these people.
Do you speak to the cattle? You're a cattle farmer yourself. Do you speak to the cattle? You're able to communicate with them?
Well, there is a system of communicating with the cattle, but it is not as people perceive it, as people think. Because I can see, even in the press conference, some of the questions that was posted is that some people or some of those who goes to some of the security agencies do say the cattle are spoken to by the herdsmen to attack them, and the only way to defend is to shoot.
That's what some of the security agencies, personnel have also said.
Yeah, and that is where I even laughed that no, there is nothing like that. The cattle have a kind of signal that we do give them, the herdsmen, or what do we call the shepherds, do give the cattle for instructing them not to go here, instructing them not to go there. And in terms of any problem, this thing began when the lions and the wolf do catch animals in the bush. Okay. So there are special cattle trained for that. So in case if something like that happens, if there is a kind of sign of a problem, what happens is that they give that sign. When they give that sign, there's a kind of shout they give to the cattle, and then the man will run and the cattle will follow him. But as for you directing cattle to go and attack somebody, no, because cattle are not wild animals. We should know that.
But is it possible for you to, you say that some of them are trained. You tell them, or you communicate with them, you tell them something to do, and they do it.
And that is what I'm saying, that it's limited. What you communicate, you don't communicate with them like you communicate with the pets. You get me right? We know that the pets, some of them are trained to an extent. You can send them do this, do, but cattle are not like that. The only training they receive sometimes is they give them some voices and they run. So cattle don't attack.
Right.
If you see.
So let's remove the attack.
Yes.
But look at the scenario where you have a whole lot of cattle. You have about, let's say, if it's even 20, and you say you give them a command that makes them run in a particular direction. So they run in a particular direction, and there is a security personnel who is faced with a lot of cattle coming his way. It's obviously the communication was not to attack.
Yes.
But you give them the communication to run towards a particular direction.
Yes.
Where there is a security personnel there.
Yes.
That's obviously an indirect.
No, but you see cattle themselves, when you give them that direction to run, that is escaping from the wolf or from the other wild animals, you know, they don't, whenever they see human being, they even divert from where the person is. When they are coming and they see you, they divert.
I've been chased by a cattle before.
Yes, I've also been chased by cattle.
Right.
By cow.
So when is it by cow? But when is it when they see human beings, they divert?
Yes. You see, why a cow will chase you will have a reason. The reason is if some of these cows give birth and they have calves, and then some of them, not all, if they have calves, they may chase you if they see you coming. They have small baby calf. They may chase you if they see you coming close to the calf. That is also not all the cattle. There are some among them. Myself, being a cattle owner, one of my cattle have tried to attack me before because trying to go to the calf and get caught to the calf of the calf. Okay. So the cow, you see him, you see the cow, you see it coming very close, and to you. Then when you leave the cow goes away. So what I'm saying is that, for instance, if there are a group of cattle coming to you, you can take that a demonstration one day. You go to where a group of cattle are coming, where they are just moving. Then you just stand in front of them. You find out that when they come, others will follow right, and others will follow left. So it's not possible
from your explanation. It is not possible that any herdsman will be able to direct cattle to attack.
It is not. It is
any
not
direction where
it's not in an hour. We don't know about that, and it's not happening anywhere.
We've done stories here on JoyNews. We've done a lot of stories especially from Agogo. Many people have died because of this disagreements, misunderstanding between herdsmen and the people who live in the community. That has gone on for so long. Well, now it appears that we're trying to find a solution. Those who are moving from Agogo, we told that they're going towards Nsuta. What do you envisage as an association is the way to deal with this thing once and for all? Is there even a solution like that?
Yes, we think there are so many solutions. It's only that sometimes we talk much and we don't work the talk. It is a time to work the talk, I think. When problems happen like this, we come and we talk. When everything is silent, we also go silent. People do say conflict resolution. I say I don't believe in conflict resolution. I believe in conflict prevention. Prevention is always better than care. So instead of me and you to sit here waiting for a problem to happen after people have died, then we come and then we say we are going to solve a problem. We are going to.
Well, this analysis is a bit late in the day because right now we have a conflict on our hand. We have a situation on our hand that we have to deal with. So what we have to look at is the way forward. How do we move forward?
Yeah,
from your association's perspective.
Our association, you know, one thing is that we don't enforce laws. Neither do we determine what could be done. We only advise our people and then make sure that they abide with rules and regulations of the country, make sure they do what's supposed to be done, and then avoid what's not supposed to be done. And at the same time, I think we are for now hoping in the government, because the government recently initiated the Ghana Cattle Ranching Project Committee. The Ghana Cattle Ranching Project Committee, initiated by the Ministers of Food and Agriculture and National Security, under the government of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We believe that what the committee has brought out in terms of the proposal of having a holistic solution between of this problem of the transhuman issues, I think if it is adopted, implemented, and then I think the committee is being able to support it to achieve its objective. There will be a very, very
that will be the
big
solution
changes.
to the
It will
problem.
be a 100% solution because we're talking about grazing reserves.
Right. Well, I've run out of time, but quickly I want to find out what is in that report. I haven't seen that report.
Well, I think I am a member of the committee, and then.
So give us a brief overview of that report.
Well, I don't.
Why you think no? But you can't tell us you don't know what's in there, because if you think that implementing that report will be the solution to the problem, then you know what's in it, and you have to tell us, and you have to.
Yes. Well,
so that we can perhaps put pressure on
yes,
government to get it done.
I can tell you little about it, maybe personally, but because once I'm not sent here to speak about it officially. I think all what we are trying to carve out is to be able to bring out the holistic solution, as I told you. And we believe that the holistic solution is to be able to put a barrier between the herdsmen and the crop farmers. That is the only holistic solution. Okay. Because as long as they come together, accidentally, it could happen. So that cattle ranching project committee have that, and we think if that is put in place,
it will solve this problem. Yeah. Well, hopefully nobody else will die. Hopefully none of your cattle will die as well, and hopefully we will all be able to cohabit in peace. And I don't know. Hopefully it works. I've been speaking with the national chairman of the Ghana National Cattle Farmers Association, Imam Hanafi Sunday. Sir, thank you very much for coming once again.
Thank you very much as well for having me.
And